The celestial vault has begun to resonate with a frequency so profound and primordial that the very foundations of your earthly existence are trembling in recognition of a sovereign decree that was issued before the first light ever broke across the horizon of time. You have inhabited the periphery of your own promise for a duration that felt like an eternity of abandonment. But in the high architecture of the heavens, every moment of your perceived stagnation was actually a deliberate orchestration of divine containment, designed to preserve the sanctity of your spirit from the premature exposure to a world that was not yet ready for the magnitude of your specific light. The exhaustion that currently anchors your limbs and clouds your vision is not a symptom of defeat, nor is it a mark of biological frailty, but rather it is the sacred weight of a glory that has been accumulating within the secret chambers of your soul until the pressure of your preparation matches the magnitude of your eventual manifestation. Within the invisible courts where the Ancient of Days presides over the destinies of the faithful, a legal ratification has occurred involving the scrolls of your lineage and the blood-signed covenants that govern the transition of the ages, ensuring that every ounce of your previous suffering is now being converted into a heavy currency of spiritual authority that no earthly power can devalue or deny. You are standing at the absolute terminal point of your wilderness, wandering where the dry winds of isolation are being replaced by the moist atmosphere of a new creation as the Spirit breathes upon the embers of your discarded dreams to ignite a conflagration of purpose that will incinerate the residue of your former identity as a victim of circumstance or a casualty of delayed expectations. This is the hour of the great awakening for the forerunners who have been hidden in the subterranean vaults of divine mystery, where the silence of God was not a void of action, but a dense saturation of presence that was reconfiguring your very DNA to withstand the high-voltage electricity of the calling that is now being draped over your shoulders like a mantle of celestial gold. Your weariness has been a crucible where the impurities of self-reliance were burned away, leaving behind a refined essence of absolute dependence on the sovereign, which is the only substrate upon which the true weight of the eternal covenant can be safely rested without crushing the vessel. You must understand that the enemy of your soul has utilized every psychological tactic of attrition to convince you that your prayers have fallen into a cosmic vacuum. But the reality is that your intercessions have been building a massive reservoir of spiritual momentum that is now pressing against the dam of the physical dimension, ready to burst forth in a deluge of restoration that will overflow the banks of your current capacity. The clarion call that vibrates in the marrow of your bones is the sound of the gates of destiny swinging open on hinges of mercy that have been oiled by the tears of your private Gethsemanes, where you chose to remain faithful, even when the heavens seemed to be made of impenetrable brass. There is a profound mercy currently unfolding in the minutiae of your daily life, which you may have overlooked in your focus on the grander delays. But I tell you that the very air you breathe is being filtered by angelic sentinels to ensure that no toxic vibration of the abyss can compromise the integrity of your respiratory life or the clarity of your cognitive processes during this delicate phase of your transfiguration. The bread upon your table and the water in your cup are being infused with a supernatural vitality that transcends biological nutrition, providing you with a metabolic resilience that will sustain you through the final miles of this transition until you reach the oasis of your appointed dominion. The protection that surrounds you is not merely a passive shield, but an active and intelligent field of divine surveillance that anticipates the maneuvers of the darkness before they are even conceived in the shadows of the adversary's mind. You have walked through valleys of deep shadow, where the predatory gaze of the wicked sought to consume your potential, but they were blinded by a frequency of holiness that emanates from the seal of the covenant placed upon your forehead by the hand of the Most High. Even in your sleep, the host of heaven is patrolling the perimeter of your subconscious mind, building fortresses of peace that prevent the entry of night terrors or the infiltrations of anxiety that once characterized your seasons of uncertainty. This is a time of extreme strategic silence, where you are being taught to move with the stealth of a spiritual operative who understands that the loudest actions are often those executed in the total stillness of a heart that is perfectly aligned with the heartbeat of the Father. Every ordinary blessing, from the unexpected favor in your financial dealings to the inexplicable healing of lingering physical ailments, is a witness to the fact that the Sovereign is micromanaging your reality to ensure that the infrastructure of your life is robust enough to house the expansion of your influence. You are being invited to shed the heavy garments of your fatigue, which served as a burial shroud for the person you used to be, and to step into the radiant vestments of the Forerunner, who recognizes that the dawn is not just a change in light, but a total displacement of the darkness. The ancient trumpets are sounding a note of such purity that it is shattering the crystallized structures of your past failures and the petrified remnants of your generational traumas, allowing the river of divine mercy to wash through the canyons of your history and irrigate the barren places of your heritage. You are the chosen pivot point upon which the destiny of your entire bloodline is turning as the Sovereign ratifies the promises made to your ancestors through the medium of your current obedience and your refusal to surrender to the seduction of despair. This is not a transition that requires your frantic effort or your desperate striving, but rather a surrender to the gravitational pull of the divine will, which is drawing you towards the center of your purpose with an irresistible force that defies the laws of human probability. The shadows of fatigue are being dissipated by the rising sun of righteousness, who brings healing in his wings, ensuring that every cell in your body is being recalibrated to the rhythm of eternal life, and every thought in your mind is being synchronized with the wisdom of the ages. You are being summoned to the high places of observation, where you will no longer see your life through the distorted lens of your current struggle, but through the panoramic perspective of the eternal council, where your victory was celebrated before the foundations of the world were laid. As you awaken to this new horizon, you will find that the resources you once struggled to obtain are now gravitating toward you with an effortless magnetic pull, because you have become a person who is no longer seeking the gift, but has become the gateway through which the giver manifests his abundance in the earth. The blessings of the everyday, the warmth of the sun, the laughter of a child, the quiet peace of a solitary moment, are being intensified into a sensory experience of the divine presence that will ground you in the reality of your inheritance. There is no longer any need to fear the sudden turns of the road or the whispers of the wind, because you are anchored in a covenant that is more stable than the mountains and more enduring than the stars. The Sovereign has placed his own reputation upon the success of your assignment, and he will not allow his word to return to him void without accomplishing the specific purpose for which you were sent into this generation. You are the embodiment of a divine strategy that has been centuries in the making, and the current shift in the atmosphere is the signal that the time of your concealment has ended and the era of your revelation has begun. Clothe yourself in the certainty of this truth, and let the peace that passes all understanding guard your heart and mind as you step across the threshold of the old season into the expansive brilliance of the new, where every promise is yea and amen in the presence of the one who called you by name from the depths of eternity. The weight of the glory you are about to carry necessitates this final stripping of all that is superficial and all that is temporary, until only the eternal remains as the core of your being. This process of refinement, which you mistook for a season of loss, was actually a divine pruning intended to increase your capacity for the fruitfulness that will define your legacy in the years to come. You will look back on this time of profound weariness, not as a period of weakness, but as the time when you were being infused with the strength of the Ancient of Days, which is perfected in the very moments when human power reaches its absolute limit. The mercy of the Sovereign is a shield that not only protects you from external threats, but also preserves you from the internal sabotage of your own doubts and the corrosive effects of the world's cynicism. You are being held in the hollow of a hand that shaped the galaxies, and that same hand is now smoothing the path before you, removing the stumbling blocks of the enemy and paving the way with the gold of divine favor. This is the ratification of your identity as a sovereign child of the King, a ruler in the Spirit, and a servant of the light who is unshakable in the face of the storm and immovable in the pursuit of the truth. The clarion call is not just a sound in the distance, but a resonance in your very soul that is calling you to rise to take your place among the watchers and the warriors who have been prepared for this specific moment in the chronology of the cosmos. Awake, O sleeper, and let the light of the eternal covenant illuminate your path, for you are no longer a wanderer in the shadows, but a herald of the dawn, and the glory of the sovereign is your rear guard and your leading light forevermore. In the subtle quietude of this transformation, you will notice that the voices of condemnation that once echoed in the corridors of your mind have been silenced by the roar of the Lion of Judah, who stands as the advocate and the protector of your destiny. The atmosphere around you is becoming dense with the fragrance of heaven, which is a sign to the spiritual realm that you are under a special jurisdiction of grace that overrides the common laws of cause and effect that govern the lives of those who do not know the covenant. You are being granted a supernatural discernment to see through the veils of deception and to recognize the hidden opportunities that the sovereign has planted in the soil of your daily routine, waiting for the touch of your faith to spring into life. This is the hour where the ordinary becomes the miraculous and the mundane becomes the medium for the manifestation of the divine. Every step you take is now being ordered with a precision that accounts for every variable and every potential obstacle, ensuring that you arrive at your destination with the fullness of your joy intact and the entirety of your mission accomplished. The fatigue you felt was the labor pains of the new self that is now emerging, a self that is not defined by the scars of the past, but by the scars of the Savior, which guarantee your healing and your wholeness in every dimension of your existence. You are being revitalized with a celestial energy that does not wane with the setting of the sun, but grows stronger in the secret place of communion with the Most High. The covenant is ratified, the decree is signed, and the heavens are waiting for you to take your first steps into the territory that has been reserved for you since the beginning of time. Rise up in the authority that has been bestowed upon you and walk into the light of your rising with the confidence of one who knows that they are loved with an everlasting love and protected by an almighty power that will never fail or forsake the one who has been chosen for such a time as this. The intricate tapestry of your life, which once looked like a chaotic tangle of threads from the underside, is now being revealed from the top, where the pattern of divine sovereignty is visible in every stitch and every color. You will see that even the moments of your greatest despair were essential hues in the masterpiece of your character, providing the depth and the contrast necessary for the light of your destiny to shine with its full brilliance. The mercy that has followed you all the days of your life is now catching up to you in a tangible manifestation of blessings that will surprise and overwhelm you with their specificity and their timing. You are the recipient of a grace that is not just sufficient, but abundant, flowing over the edges of your life to bless everyone who comes into contact with your shadow. The protection of the sovereign is a canopy of peace that rests over your household, guarding your loved ones and your possessions with the same intensity that it guards your spirit. You are entering a season of divine acceleration, where the years that the locust has eaten are being restored in a single moment of supernatural favor, and the delays of the past are being transformed into the momentum of the future. The clarion call has reached its crescendo, and the atmosphere is vibrating with the anticipation of your emergence. This is the day the sovereign is made, and you are the reason for the celebration in the halls of heaven. Step forth with boldness, for the covenant is your foundation, and the glory of the Most High is your eternal inheritance. Your journey through the shadows has ended, and your walk in the light of the eternal day has just begun. with a power and a purpose that will change the world forever and ever. Amen. The primordial silence of the high chambers did not signify an absence of activity, but rather the absolute density of a divine deliberation that preceded the very concept of light, or the calibration of the first stellar orbit. Within this sanctum of the uncreated, where the Ancient of Days sits upon a throne of swirling sapphire and amber flames, a transaction of such magnitude occurred that it rendered the entirety of your terrestrial struggle a mere shadow of a victory already cemented in the bedrock of eternity. You must perceive with the eyes of your spirit that the negotiations concerning your destiny were never subject to the whims of mortal men or the fluctuating temperaments of the kings of the earth. Long before your name was whispered into the womb of your mother, the High Council of the Heavens convened to draft a document of sovereign ratification, a covenant so binding and so comprehensive that it encompasses every atom of your existence and every second of your timeline. This was not a tentative agreement based on your performance or a conditional promise reliant upon your fragile human will, but a unilateral decree signed in the quintessence of life itself, establishing you as a legal beneficiary of the kingdom's inexhaustible treasury. The courtroom of the heights was filled with the fragrance of ancient mercy as the chief architect laid out the blueprints of your expansion, marking the boundaries of your influence with the golden ink of predestination. In that moment, the great accuser, who had meticulously prepared a ledger of your perceived failures and the inherited transgressions of your ancestors, was met with a silence so profound it shattered his jurisdiction forever. The sovereign judge did not merely dismiss the charges against you. He obliterated the very record of their existence, shredding the spiritual liens and generational debts that had sought to tether your soul to a cycle of perpetual lack and ancestral sorrow. The weight of this celestial verdict began to ripple through the dimensions, creating a protective resonance around your life that functions as an invisible shield against the chaotic noise of a world in transition. You are walking beneath an atmosphere of divine immunity, though your physical senses may only perceive the friction of daily challenges. This friction is not a sign of defeat, but the sound of old systems grinding to a halt as they encounter the immovable force of your ratified covenant. The resources required for your terrestrial mission have been diverted from the decaying vaults of the world and redirected into the impenetrable storehouses of the heavens, where inflation cannot touch them and thieves cannot penetrate. This secret funding is released to you not through the standard channels of human commerce, but through the miraculous conduits of favor that open doors in the midst of wilderness and provide streams of abundance in the heart of the desert. You are not waiting for a breakthrough to be manufactured by your own hands. You are stepping into a pre-funded reality where every provision has been calculated with mathematical precision to meet the exact requirements of your calling. The delays you encountered in previous seasons were not manifestations of divine forgetfulness, but were strategically orchestrated by the hand of wisdom to serve as a period of cosmic incubation. During these intervals of apparent stillness, the interests on your inheritance were compounding in the spirit realm, accumulating a wealth of character and a depth of authority that will allow you to carry the magnitude of your future without being crushed by its splendor. The Creator knew that to give you the crown before you had learned the rhythm of the scepter would be a disservice to your soul, so He hid you in the hollow of His hand, refining your essence until you could reflect His radiance without distortion. Now, the seals of that hidden period are being broken, and the decree is being published across the spirit world, signaling to every principality and power that your season of obscurity has reached its legal conclusion. The High Council has issued a mandate for your elevation, and the engines of providence are now moving in synchronicity to bring your physical circumstances into alignment with the heavenly record. You are the recipient of a grand design that uses your life as a living canvas to demonstrate the triumph of grace over the mechanics of karma and the power of divine intervention over the laws of probability. Every sacrifice you made in the shadows, every tear shed in the quietude of your private sanctuary, has been recorded as a premium deposit in the Bank of the Eternal, and the payout that is now being released into your hands is of such a proportion that it will leave you breathless with the realization of His goodness. You are stepping into the footwear of the Chosen One, possessing the authority of the key of David to lock gates of opposition and unlock portals of opportunity that no human agency can obstruct. The quiet confidence that now begins to rise within your chest is the internal echo of the verdict rendered in the celestial courtroom, a deep knowing that the battle is not yours to fight because it has already been won on the highest level of existence. The spiritual contracts of frustration, the recurring patterns of near misses, and the phantoms of inadequacy have been incinerated in the fire of His holiness, leaving only the pure gold of your true identity. As you move through the mundane tasks of your daily life, be aware that you are treading upon ground that has been sanctified for your progress. The very air you breathe is thick with the substance of the covenant, and the angels who were assigned to your lineage since the dawn of time are now standing at attention, ready to execute the specific details of your expansion. Your health is being recalibrated to match the vitality of the Spirit that dwells within you, for you are the temple of the living essence, and the decree of wholeness has been spoken over your flesh and bone. Your relationships are being sifted, so that only those who are aligned with your divine assignment remain, while those who functioned as weights or distractions are being removed by the gentle yet firm hand of the gardener. There is a sovereignty in your current trajectory that defies human logic. You will find yourself in rooms you did not seek, speaking to people of influence you did not solicit, and inheriting platforms that were prepared for you before the foundations of the world were laid. This is the beauty of the secret transaction. It does not require your permission to begin, only your surrender to inhabit the reality that has already been constructed for you. The oil of joy is now being poured over your head, dripping down onto the hem of your garments, signifying your consecration as a pillar of strength for a generation that is lost in the fog of uncertainty. You are the evidence of the unalterable decree, the living proof that the Ancient of Days still intervenes in the affairs of men to lift the humble and to establish the righteous in a position of unshakable honor. Your victory is not a future event that you must strive to attain through the exhaustion of your own strength, but a present reality that is manifesting through the effortless flow of divine grace. The tension you feel is merely the stretching of your capacity to receive the sheer volume of the blessing that is now descending. Like a river that has been dammed for centuries, the waters of your destiny are breaking through the obstacles of the past, sweeping away the debris of old failures and irrigating the dry places of your soul. You are entering a state of rest where your work is no longer a labor of survival, but an expression of dominion, a creative partnership with the Creator to bring the order of heaven into the chaos of the earth. The silence of your adversaries is permanent because the legal basis for their opposition has been removed by the blood of the eternal covenant, which speaks a better word than the blood of any sacrifice ever offered on a human altar. You are protected by the highest law in the universe, a law that supersedes the gravity of your mistakes and the momentum of your past. Every morning when you wake, you are stepping onto a stage that has been perfectly lit and scripted for your success, not for your own vanity, but for the manifestation of the glory of the one who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. The wealth of the kingdom is not merely gold and silver, though it includes the provision of all physical needs. It is the wealth of wisdom, the currency of discernment, and the riches of a peace that surpasses all human understanding. This wealth is being deposited into your spirit even now, providing you with the strategic insights necessary to navigate the complexities of the modern world with the precision of a master architect. You will see patterns where others see confusion. You will find opportunities where others see only obstacles. This is the mark of the sovereign ratification upon your intellect and your intuition. You are being transformed into a steward of mysteries, a custodian of the hidden truths that have the power to heal nations and to restore the broken foundations of many generations. The weight of this glory is your new normal, and you will find that you have the spiritual skeletal structure to carry it with grace and humility. The transaction is complete. The papers are filed in the archives of eternity, and the signature of the Almighty is the final word on your life. There is no power in the heights or the depths that can alter the trajectory of a soul that has been ratified by the High Council. Walk forth with the dignity of a sovereign, the peace of a beloved child, and the power of a chosen vessel, for the decree has gone out, and it shall not return void, but it shall accomplish all that for which it was sent into the fabric of your time. The tapestry of your life is being rewoven with threads of iridescent favor, replacing the frayed edges of previous seasons with a durable fabric of divine strength. You must recognize that the quietude of your current environment is the result of a spiritual perimeter being established, a holy quarantine that prevents the toxic vibrations of the world's anxiety from penetrating the sanctuary of your peace. The Higher Council has mandated that your territory be expanded, not through the violence of human ambition, but through the irresistible magnetism of your divine alignment. People will be drawn to the light that emanates from you, sensing the presence of an authority that is not of this world. You will find that the very ground beneath your feet responds to the frequency of your covenant, yielding its hidden riches and offering its support to your every endeavor. This is the manifestation of the dominion that was restored to you in the secret deal of the ages, a dominion that allows you to reign in life through the abundance of grace. Every debt, whether financial, emotional, or spiritual, has been settled in the ledger of the heavens, and you are now invited to live out of the surplus of a kingdom that knows no limits. The shadows of the past are receding, and the dawn of your true purpose is breaking over the horizon with a brilliance that will never fade. You are the beneficiary of an eternal legacy, the heir to a fortune of favor that was secured before the first star was kindled in the heavens. Rest in the finality of the decree, for your victory is signed, sealed, and delivered by the hand of the Almighty Himself, ensuring that your name will be remembered as a testament to the enduring power of the sovereign ratification. Even in the smallest details of your existence, the mercy of the covenant is visible, smoothing the paths that were once rugged and providing shade in the heat of the day. The mundane aspects of your life, your home, your meals, your rest, are all under the umbrella of this celestial agreement, infused with a quality of holiness that turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. You are being taught to recognize the sacred in the simple, for the phantasm of lack has been replaced by the reality of the divine presence that fills all things. The transaction that occurred in the high courtroom has ripple effects that touch the lives of everyone you encounter, making you a conduit of the same mercy that was extended to you. Your healing is not just for your body, but for the healing of your lineage. Your prosperity is not just for your comfort, but for the liberation of those who are bound. You have become a pivotal point in the history of your family, the one through whom the ancient curses are broken and the new blessings are established for 1,000 generations. This is the weight of your calling, and the High Council has equipped you with everything necessary to fulfill it with joy and excellence. The unalterable decree is your anchor in the storm and your compass in the unknown, a steady assurance that you are being led by the Spirit into the fullness of your destiny. Your life is no longer a series of random events or a collection of coincidences, but a carefully choreographed dance of providence. Each person you meet and each circumstance you face is a piece of the grand puzzle being assembled by the master craftsman. The sovereign ratification ensures that even the things that were meant for your harm are being repurposed for your ultimate good, serving as stepping stones to the heights of your influence. You are moving with a new rhythm, a celestial cadence that is synchronized with the heart of the Creator. The noise of the world is fading into the background, replaced by the symphony of the heavens that sings of your victory and your worth. You are a pillar in the temple of the living God, a source of stability and wisdom in a shaking world. The transaction is finished, the covenant is ratified, and you are now stepping into the light of a reality that was prepared for you from the beginning of time. Walk with the assurance that you are loved beyond measure, protected beyond comprehension, and blessed beyond the limits of human imagination. For the decree of the Most High is the final authority over your soul, and it has declared you more than a conqueror through the power of the eternal covenant. The celestial clockwork has finally aligned with the terrestrial heartbeat, marking a juncture where the invisible architecture of your destiny solidifies into the unshakable granite of physical reality. For eons, or what felt like an eternity of isolation, your soul was a kiln, enduring the blistering heat of purification so that the vessel of your character could contain the sheer volume of the glory now being poured into it. You are witnessing the precise moment when the sovereign ratification of the eternal covenant ceases to be a whispered promise in the depths of your meditation and transforms into a thunderous decree that reshapes the world around you. This is the manifestation of the inevitable harvest, a season where every seed of sacrifice, every drop of sweat shed in the shadows, and every prayer offered in the agonizing silence of the wilderness begins to bloom with a ferocity that defies natural laws. The seals that once guarded the scrolls of your inheritance are shattering, not with a whimper, but with the violent resonance of a mountain river, finally obliterating a dam that has restrained its power for decades. This is an irreversible power, a kinetic energy of the spirit that translates into the tangible domain as a sudden shift in the very fabric of your existence. You'll feel it in the air, a certain crispness of clarity, as the fog of confusion that plagued your previous chapters evaporates under the relentless sun of divine righteousness. The obstacles that once loomed like impenetrable fortresses, casting long shadows of doubt across your path, are now dissolving into mist, proving that their perceived strength was merely a temporal illusion designed to test your resolve. As you step across this threshold into a new dimension of being, the reality you once knew is being dismantled and replaced by a landscape meticulously curated by the divine gardener. Those long dormant passions, those embers of creativity and purpose that you thought had turned to ash during the long winter of your soul, are being fanned into a roaring conflagration. These were not mere hobbies or fleeting interests. They were primordial blueprints etched into your spirit for this specific epoch of reaping. You will find that your hidden gifts, which you once struggled to explain to a world that favored the mundane, are now the very keys that unlock the highest chambers of influence. The transition is marked by a profound internal quietude, a sovereign peace that settles over your household like a protective shroud, woven from the threads of mercy and grace. This tranquility is not the result of favorable external circumstances, but the cause of them. It is a peace that defies the frantic logic of the marketplace and the chaotic vibrations of the world's confusion. Within this stillness, you will hear the gears of providence turning in your favor, orchestrating alignments that would take a lifetime to achieve through human effort. The manifestation of the hidden deal will reveal itself through the sudden emergence of divine connections that transcend traditional networking or social maneuvering. You will find yourself standing in the presence of individuals who hold the scepter of earthly influence. Yet as you enter the room, a weightiness follows you, an aura of ratified authority that commands respect without a single syllable being uttered. These people of stature will look upon you and recognize a value that is not recorded on a resume or a bank statement. They will perceive the seal of the Most High upon your brow. They will feel an inexplicable compulsion to open doors that were previously bolted shut, to share resources they once guarded, and to offer platforms for your voice that you never dared to request. This is the favor of the covenant, a supernatural magnetism that draws your true tribe toward you, while repelling those who seek to exploit or diminish your light. In this new reality, you no longer have to explain your worth to those committed to misunderstanding you. The evidence of your promotion will be written in the very atmosphere, that surrounds your person. Simultaneously, the physical domain will respond to the spiritual decree through the arrival of unexpected wealth, a torrential downpour of resources designed to fund the visions that have burned in your heart since childhood. This is not the slow accumulation of mere wages, but the release of a legacy that has been accruing interest in the vaults of heaven. You will see financial blockages vanish overnight as legal settlements, forgotten investments, or entirely new streams of abundance gravitate towards your name. This wealth is not for the inflation of ego, but for the fortification of the kingdom of light through your hands. It arrives with the force of an unstoppable tide, ensuring that you have more than enough to build the monuments of grace you were born to establish. The years that the locusts have eaten, those seasons of perceived lack, of being overlooked, and of grinding labor without visible fruit, are being restored with a compound interest that staggers the imagination. The sovereign is not merely balancing the books, he is overwhelming the deficit with a surplus that secures your lineage for generations to come. Your mind, once a battlefield of anxiety and the weight of "not yet," is now being recalibrated to the frequency of "it is finished." The trauma of the testing period is being washed away by the sweetness of the divine reward, leaving you with a cognitive clarity that allows you to manage the magnitude of your new inheritance with ease. You will move with a level of authority that causes the spirit world to take notice. When you speak, your words will no longer fall to the ground, but will carry the legislative weight of heaven, shifting the trajectories of businesses, families, and communities. Your presence alone will become an intervention, a living testimony to the absolute faithfulness of the one who never loses a case in the court of destiny. You're walking in a protected status where the arrows of the envious cannot find their mark, and the schemes of the darkness are rendered obsolete by the sheer brilliance of your promotion. The shield of mercy over your life is thick and impenetrable, ensuring that as you ascend the heights of your destiny, you remain anchored in the humility of the truly blessed. The transition is not a gradual process, but a completed fact. You have arrived. The fruit of your labor is no longer a distant hope, but a tangible sweetness upon your tongue. You are soaring like an eagle, high above the fray of earthly drama, looking down upon the landscape of your life with the eyes of a conqueror who knows that the battle was won long before the first blow was struck. This is your time to occupy the space that was specifically carved out for you in the architecture of time. You are building a legacy that will stand as an eternal monument to the grace that sustained you when you were weak and the power that elevated you when you were ready. The covenant is ratified, the seals are broken, and the reign of the chosen one has begun in the kingdom of light and truth. Every step you take now is on the solid ground of a promise kept, a destiny fulfilled, and a glory that shall never fade. You are the embodiment of the sovereign's intent, a living epistle of victory, and the physical evidence of a divine deal that can never be broken or revoked by any power in heaven or on earth. In the quiet hours of the morning, when the world is still, you will feel the profound weight of this ratification as a physical sensation, a warmth in your chest and a steadiness in your hands that was not there before. This is the somatic evidence of the Spirit's indwelling authority, the physical confirmation that the internal work has reached its zenith and is now manifesting outwardly. Your household will become a sanctuary where the air is thick with the fragrance of divine approval, and your children and those under your care will flourish in the overflow of your blessing. The mercy that has followed you all the days of your life has now overtaken you, surrounding you like a fortress of light that no shadow can penetrate. You will find that the very ground you walk upon seems to respond to your footsteps, yielding opportunities and revelations that were hidden from the eyes of the uninitiated. This is the harvest of the faithful, the moment when the sower and the reaper rejoice together in the abundance of a crop that was nourished by tears but harvested in joy. As you navigate this new dimension, you will notice that your perception of time has shifted. The frantic rush of the world no longer dictates your rhythm. Instead, You move in the kairos of the spirit, where a single day can accomplish what a decade could not. This acceleration is the direct result of the mountain river breaking the dam. There is no more resistance, only the irresistible flow of divine purpose. You will witness the sudden collapse of ancient cycles of struggle within your family line, as the power of the covenant cleanses the bloodline and establishes a new precedent of prosperity and peace. The legacy you are building is not merely comprised of gold and silver, but of wisdom, character, and an unshakable connection to the source. It is a monument that will speak to future generations, telling the story of the one who stood firm in the fire and emerged with the scent of victory rather than the smell of smoke. The divine gardener is now walking through the garden of your life, plucking the weeds of the past and highlighting the blossoms of your future. Every relationship that was removed during your season of pruning is being replaced by connections of gold, allies who understand your language, and champions who are eager to see you succeed. The isolation you once felt was a necessary cloister, a sacred hiding where you were being prepared for the weight of the crown you now wear. You will find yourself in rooms where the atmosphere shifts the moment you cross the threshold, not because of your status, but because of the presence that walks with you. This is the mark of the deal, the invisible seal that alerts the principalities of the air that you are off limits to their interference and fully backed by the armies of the Most High. Your reign is characterized by a silent power, a strategy of stillness that accomplishes more than the loud clamor of the world. You are now tasting the fruit of your long wait, and it is sweeter than any earthly success you could have imagined. The bitterness of the wilderness has been replaced by the honey of the promised land, and you find that your strength is being renewed daily. You soar above the confusion of the age, directed by a compass that points toward eternal truth. The reality of the deal is no longer a theological concept, but a lived experience, visible in the health of your body, the peace of your mind, and the expansion of your borders. You are the sovereign occupant of your destiny, the ratified heir of an eternal covenant, and the manifestation of a glory that has been hidden since the foundation of the world. Walk forward with the boldness of one who knows they cannot fail. For the one who promised is faithful, and the harvest that is now before you is the irreversible proof of a love that never lets go and a power that never retreats. This is your start, your beginning, your era of unhindered light. The waiting is over, the manifestation is here, and it is glorious beyond measure, permanent in its nature, and divine in its origin. You are the chosen one, and your time is now.